This is episode 4, and this is something new that I'm doing. It's titled Truly Gifted Hoops, and basically wanting to speak with people who love the game of basketball, people like such as yourself. So I appreciate you coming on this Sunday. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Lauren Galvani. I'm from Charlotte. This is my 9th year at Independence, 9th year coaching. Like I said, I'm from Charlotte. I went to North Mech, played basketball and softball at Catawba College, and then I transferred and I finished up at Lees McRae. So I'm from the city and here at Independence. I also coach with Team Curry during the summertime. So
okay. That's very rare, I'll say. There's a lot of quote unquote transplants that live in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So to come across somebody who's actually from the area is very rare. Me, myself, I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So we moved here back in 2016 from California.
Gotcha.
So been kind of all over the place. So what made you want to get into coaching basketball, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, I grew up in the gym. My parents had me when they were in college, and my dad played college basketball, so I grew up going to his practices. As soon as he graduated, he started at North Mech, and that's where he's the coach for the boys team, and that's where he's been. So I grew up in the gym, grew up going to all of his practices, and started playing maybe in like 5th, 6th grade. I always played, but like really on a team, probably 5th, 6th grade, and something I am passionate about, love coaching. And even as a player, I'm not going to say I was the perfect teammate and the perfect, player on the court, but something I found myself doing was holding people accountable, and I enjoyed doing it. So I knew that, especially later on in my college career, I knew that I wanted to be a coach at some point.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a huge part, is accountability. And I talk to my daughter about that a lot, is, just when you make mistakes, that's a part of the game, but your part of making a mistake is owning the mistake that you made and just trying to grow from that. So glad to hear you say that. Just moving on, what are some of the mentors you've had throughout your career?
Honestly, my dad. I've had a lot of people, good people around me that I will listen to, but at the end of the day, he's the one that, has been there since I've started coaching, through the losses, through the wins, because you have a lot of people that will come around when you're winning. And so he's been around for me. He's been someone that's given me advice. He's been somebody that's listened and, helped me out through my coaching career. So that's somebody that I really listen to. He can tell me when I'm overreacting and I actually pay attention to it. So he's been really good for me.
Yeah, that's great to have, kind of like a springboard almost, right? Someone to just talk to, someone who understands what you're going through as a coach and can really relate and empathize, when things aren't going as well, and then celebrate you when things are going well. So that's perfect. What are some of the players you've patterned your game after, or coaches that, and I feel like this is probably going to go back to your dad. Yeah. But yeah, just enlighten us.
When I played, my favorite players were Christy Tolliver, that played at Maryland. She was a little guard that could just score. She was a competitor. Really liked the way she played. And then we grew up NC State fans, but I was a really big fan of Ivory Latta at Carolina. So just a little guard like I was. And again, she could shoot it. She could score it. So I really liked them. As far as coaches, of course my dad, but I really liked it. And I take bits and pieces from other coaches, especially in college and what they do. I think Gino's been really good about tough love and, either love him or you hate him. And I think that his players, he holds them accountable. And at the end of the day, they love it. They respect it. They appreciate it. And that's something that I enjoy. I think that Kara at UNC Charlotte, she does a really good job of building that family culture. So I like that too. We try and do the same thing here at Indy, and of course my dad, just how he holds his players accountable. He's not the easiest guy to play for, but at the end of the day, if you want to play in college and you want to be successful, you're going to take it for what it's worth. So I think that he's been really good too.
Yeah. Okay. So you've played against pretty much everybody around here. Who are some of your, and this I'm just kind of throwing you a curveball here, but who are some of your favorite coaches to compete against in the local area?
I mean, in our conference, there's been a lot of coaching changes. So like the one as of late has got to be Catholic, because, you know, he's good. He's the real deal. That obviously their team's really good. It's built some type of rivalry within the past 2 years. They've only been in our conference for 2 years, but you know, back in the day, it was Hickory Ridge and Myers Park, and I'm not even going to say it was a rivalry, because back in the day, they used to beat us by 40 and 50 points. So, wow. I mean, you know, when the conference was that, those were exciting games to have, but I would say as of late, Catholic's got to be a fun one. The girls get excited, the school gets excited about it, so it's good.
Awesome. What are your top 3 moments? I would say you said 7 years, right?
This is my 9th.
At Indy. 9th, I'm sorry. So over those 9 years, give me your top 3 moments as a coach. Top 3.
All right. No particular order. I would say obviously our first win. That happened my first year, and it happened in the middle of the season. We broke a 63 game losing streak, and it was wild. So we were. Yeah, wow. It was in a Christmas tournament at Sun Valley. We were playing Providence, who wasn't in our conference at the time, and they were pretty good years before, and then they were struggling a little bit, but we beat them by a few points, and so I'll never forget that. That was some of our seniors' like first wins as basketball players, so I can't forget that one. Probably another one would be last year, finishing the season undefeated in conference, which hadn't been done before, and winning conference. We hadn't done that since I've been here, and years before that. So that was a big one. And then I would say any signing day that we have is pretty big. So we've had a few kids go play at the next level, and those are all always really special.
Nice. So the first time I think I saw you was with the Select 60 group. There were a number of great coaches out there, yourself being one of them. Can you give us or shed a little bit of light on what it was to work with Select 60?
I mean, it's just a great event for exposure with the girls. Like, I think it's a really good opportunity for the younger players to come out there and compete against other good players. For me personally, it's good to see that. Like, it's good to see the young prospects in our area that, you know, are bringing light to the city within their game. And I think that also it gives me a chance to be around other great coaches and learn from them. Even though it's just a day, it's great. It's a great event.
Yeah. That was my first time going to Select 60, but it's funny because I'm kind of like putting all the pieces together. Like, I was starting to see those same coaches that I saw at Select 60, starting to see some of those great players when I go to different games, like, and just putting it all together, like, oh, I remember that face from Select 60. So it was awesome for me, and I'm glad you really enjoyed
and it's good to see
in that event.
Like, that was probably my 3rd, 4th, 5th year doing it. So it's good to the kids that keep coming back, they keep adding to their game, which is important. Like, you know, anyone can be good really young, but can you add to your game? So it's good to see some of those same kids come back year after year and they've added to their bag.
Right. And I'm going to just piggyback off of that because my daughter, she's basically 6 feet at 13-year-old. And so it's kind of a gift and a curse, because what coaches tend to do with a player that's that height is they just stick them in the post. And a lot of games that I've been to is really guard heavy play. And so, I mean, that's what guards are for. They dictate, you know, the pace of the game. They make plays for other people. But I told her, you know, you may not grow anymore. And so you may have to transition into a wing player once you get to high school. And, you know, an important element is handling the ball. And that's something that she's very apprehensive about. So I got to figure out a way to make her more comfortable with handling the ball, and so I might get with you offline to maybe get some tips on what I can do to help her. What do you feel like are the best attributes that you have as a coach? I know one of them is going to be holding players accountable.
Yeah. They don't always like that, but I would say I'm a gym rat. Like I was like that when I played. I'm like that when I'm a coach. Like I love being in the gym, whether it's to take a kid on a recruiting trip, whether it's to go see a game, whether it's to go see former players that are playing. Even if somebody says, hey, can I come shoot on the gun in the morning, or, can we get a workout in? I'm a gym rat. And so that would probably be one of the good things about me as a coach, just because that's something that I wanted early in my career. Like we didn't have a lot of kids. We only had 10 kids try out. We didn't have a JV team. It's something that I was just like, man, we got to get kids in the gym. And so I was wanting that so bad. And now that for the past few years, and that's why we've been successful, kids are like, can I get in the gym in the morning? They show up after practice. They're getting up extra shots. And so if they're asking me, I'm letting them do it, because it's something that I wanted early in my career. So I'm a gym rat. Another thing, I think that I'm a player's coach. I think it's important to connect with your players before, I'm not saying you cuss them out, but before you hold them accountable and before you go at them. And so I think that's super important. And in different ways, I try and connect with my players, again, so I can coach them how I want to coach them, and then, be coached.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a big advocate or a proponent for, people who are responsible for other people or in charge, quote unquote. It's very important that they get to know the people that's, under their charge. And, once you develop that relationship, those people they'll run through a brick wall for you. So I think that's great. What are two of your goals for 2024?
I would say, like, as a coach, I think that trusting my decisions a little bit better, in game time decisions. I would say that I've always been a coach that wants to press a lot. And we have pressed a little bit, but I think that I've been, quick to pull us out of the press if somebody scores on it within the first 2 possessions. I think that I got to trust that a little bit more, trust the players a little bit more. That's just an example, but just staying with our game plan that we have at the beginning of the game and being able to adjust too. But I think trusting my decisions a little bit better would be a goal. Another one off the court would be to get these. I have 5 seniors. I know 3 or 4 of them want to play at the next level, and making sure that they get to where they need to go to play at the next level. So I think getting them signed will be important too.
Okay. So I want to throw another curveball. You talked about the press. Out of both girls and boys, if you happen to pay attention to boys basketball in this local area, Concord, Charlotte, who would you rate has the best press defense?
I've heard that Central Cabarrus's boys are really good with the press. Like really, and I that's what I've heard, and I believe the people that I've heard it from. I haven't seen any of their games, but Mallard Creek girls do a good job pressing. Like that's part of their game, is making people make turnovers and then finishing at the other end. They're really good at that. But I go to all the North Meck boys basketball games. I'm not saying they're the best at the press, but they get a lot of their points off of steals. And they're super quick in transition, which is something that I've wanted my teams to mimic, getting up quick shots, smart shots. But yeah, I've heard Central Cabarrus is really good.
Yeah, I've actually, so I watched Central Cabarrus in the Mount Pleasant Holiday Classic. I think they've won that Holiday Classic like 4 years in a row. But their press is remarkable. And I went to one of their home games against Northwest last week, and same thing. It was like, it's just suffocating. So I would say I haven't seen North Meck. I heard they have one of the smallest gyms, so it's really hard to get into those games, and the tickets sell out within 30 seconds.
Well, at least next week's game will be with them playing Chambers, but
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, I'm gonna try to get to that game. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna try to get in there. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years from today?
I mean, I'll be coaching still, I hope. I like where I'm at. I've had opportunities to coach at the next level or, different places, but this is something that I don't know anything other than independence girls basketball, and I love it. The people that I work with, I don't imagine it being easier or better anywhere else. So, I like where I'm at. At some point, I might make the jump to the next level, but again, I like where I'm at, and so coaching somewhere, somebody's gym.
Awesome. What's one of the things that you want for all your players as they move on from your program?
I think that, at the beginning of the year, we always have an expectations meeting, and I always tell them, I want you working on your game. I want you, by the time you're through this program, I want you to have gotten better on and off the floor. Because we have some girls on our JV team that have never played basketball before, and they're playing this year. So my goal for them is, what, if you can't make a layup, I want you to be able to make a layup by the end of the season. And, some of the other ones that are going to go play at the next level and they're ranked players, I want them to get better too. So I want them to get better throughout their career here at Independence. I also want them to be able to make memories and be comfortable and be able to come back when they've graduated. And my assistant coach, she's really good about, she says it like at least 2 times a day. We give her a hard time, but she says cherish these moments, and she'll say it at random times, but like I'll say it too, but I find myself like just missing out on the little things, but it's a big thing in high school. Like some of these players that I'm coaching that don't want to play at the next level, they're not going to touch a basketball again. So I want them to enjoy the time that they have with their friends, time in the locker room, time going out to eat, time on the activity bus. They'll never get on a bus again. So I want them to enjoy the little moments that they have with each other. But yeah, I do. This past week, there've been a lot of alumni come back. And so that's probably one of my favorite moments as a coach is being, knowing that those players want to come back. They're comfortable coming back. It's like we haven't skipped a beat when they come back in the office. So that's something that I want when my players leave here, knowing that they can come back and, still be accepted here.
Awesome. If there was one thing you could improve from 2023, what would that be for you?
For me or for the players or what? Like as a team or what?
However you want to shape that answer. It's completely up to you.
I would say, like, kind of just to piggyback off of what we just talked about, me just enjoying the little wins. Like my players, They give me a hard time because they know I'm uptight about stuff. They think I'm never satisfied with things, that's how a lot of coaches are. But just enjoying the little wins, like at the end of the day, you're going to win games, you're going to lose games, but growing throughout the season. And I think that's something I got to get better with, that I want to improve with this season is just being able to enjoy the little things that we are improving on and not harping on, other things.
Okay. What's something that coaching has taught you about yourself that maybe you didn't know before?
I think it's made me realize like how much more, which is crazy because I loved playing. I was a competitor. I loved being in the gym, but it's made me realize like I enjoy coaching other kids more than I played. And like it's tough to say because again, I love playing and I love shooting and I love the competitive atmosphere and the grind and the process and everything like that. But I get so much more satisfaction when I see kids put things together and for things to click. So it's just kind of made me realize that, I really do love coaching. I have a passion about it. So yeah.
Okay. That's great. And the final question is this or that question. Okay. And it's basketball related, of course. Are you a Kobe guy or a LeBron?
I'm a Kobe guy all the way. Kobe guy.
Yeah. All right.
Kobe.
Yeah, I love Kobe.
What are you?
I'm not you. I'm actually a Kobe guy. You know, when I saw the report about the helicopter crash, like I think I was like borderline depressed for like maybe like a week and a half, like, and I was like, I don't even, I don't know Kobe personally, but
you felt like you grew up with him. Yeah,
I did, like, because we were the same age, and so it was. I was literally cried.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I literally, not even just once, like, I would be on like social media and I would scroll and see something. It was like it hit me all over again. I was like, damn. I like LeBron. There's just, I'm a Jordan guy. So, but when Jordan retired, I kind of took a hiatus from watching pro basketball. And then I honestly didn't see a lot of the Kobe championships except for the last two, where I was kind of tuning in, and then I watched all the way until he scored 60 in that final game.
Yeah.
So just a special athlete. I think he resonates with me more because my daughter plays basketball, so it's kind of that connection, like the whole hashtag girl dad thing.
I think
so. He
did
really
a lot
special
for girls basketball, and I think it was only going to grow even more with him here. And so I was upset too, especially when you found out that his daughter was in there with him, and that was really tough. But I grew up being a Kobe fan as well. So.
For sure. Well, I just want to say thanks for your time. I apologize for the interruption in the recording, but yeah, I think we salvaged it pretty well. So I'll end it with this and just say good luck to you and the girls at Indy and all the coaching staff, and wish you well during the remainder of the season.
Let me know if you want to come to any games or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I brought my daughter to the last game. I wanted her to see, how you all play, and she thoroughly enjoyed the game. So, yeah, she did. So I'd like to maybe introduce her to you at some point. But when you're in game mode, I'm like, she's locked in, so I'm not gonna.
People think I'm mean on game days, like throughout the whole day. They don't go near me at all. But I'm in my zone and.
Yeah. No, I completely understand, and definitely respectful of how you approach the game and how you want to prepare, and the less distractions, the better. So, kudos to you, and like I said, thanks again for the interview, and Happy New Year.
Good talking to you.
All right. Yep. Take care.